Today, we are going to be rebuilding Nottingham Forest from FIFA 15 all the way to FC 25. The team that has just been absolutely smashing it by their standards in the Premier League this season. The English club with 2 Champions League titles to its name is pushing to get back into the competition for next season. But this is Nottingham Forest in 2025. Rewind 10 years ago, look at what that Nottingham Forest team was looking like back in 2015. Barely any players above a 70 overall and barely any names you'd recognize. We've got Mikel Antonio for one. I see 2 players who turned out okay for Newcastle in Jamal Lascelles and of course Carl Darlow. But aside from that, looking in their substitutes, looking in their reserves, you're not seeing a crazy amount of future talent. Today we're going to be rebuilding Nottingham Forest from FIFA 15 all the way through to FC 25. We're going to sign and sell players, see what trophies we win, and then at the end of every season we're going to take the exact same team with us over to FIFA 16, then to FIFA 17, 18 and so on. This rebuild's going to be particularly hard because of 2 things. The first being, we are starting this rebuild in the Championship, so we have very finite resources to try to get out of the Championship. Because our budget is only 3.8 million. Who the hell can we sign with that? We got to find a way to get Nottingham Forest out of the Championship, get them in the Premier League, and then try to build up a team that can not just win a Premier League, but maybe even win that 3rd Champions League title. This is going to be one of the biggest challenges we've ever done in this series, so be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. Now, first up, we need as much cash as possible to get that budget up. So I'm selling some of our older, even maybe slightly higher rated players just to bring in some cash. I've also gone through and meticulously created a shortlist of names that I would like to sign. We got 2 goalkeepers here in Alex Romero and Alexander Nubel. Stop me if you've heard them before. They cost nothing, but they're only 50 and 53 overall, and that's going to be a trend with a lot of the players we're going to go for. A couple of left backs we might be able to afford. Ben Davies, Mason Holgate I found, and Benjamin Mendy. He's a bit more of an expensive option, but maybe we could go for him. We're going to need some midfielders, so I found this 54-year-old Frenchman by the name of Ismail Bennacer. Only 54 overall, only 70,000 pounds. We can maybe get him. And then some striker options. James Maddison, not too bad of a pickup. Little baby face right there. Dominic Solanke from Chelsea, maybe we could go for. Ollie Watkins playing for Exeter City. He's only 49 overall at 18 years of age. Oh, bro, pack it up. Bro's never going to have a career. But you know what? Maybe we'll just get him anyway for shits and giggles. If not him, maybe we could go for an Ivan Toney. He looks pretty good for Northampton. Yeah, we got some options, but how many of them can we afford? Because here's the thing, just because a player's worth 20,000 pounds doesn't mean we're going to get him for that. Hell, we still might need to pay like 5 times that for every player. I'm going to have to offer 5 times, yeah, 100,000 pounds for a 20,000 pound valued player. It's going to get tough. Yeah, bloody hell, man, this is tough. We got 750k needed to buy 100,000 pound James Maddison. Oh my God, Dominic Solanke is almost 10 times as expensive, for crying out loud. I'm just going to have to play it safe and go for the players where I know I can get the best deal possible, like an Ollie Watkins for less than hopefully 100k. So I've been able to sign 5 players so far. We've got Alex Romero, the goalkeeper, and we've got Ben Davies, Bennacer, Ollie Watkins, and Ivan Toney in so far. We've sold on a couple players too, and our budget is actually still higher than what it was, so still more to get. At this point, I reckon I'll just have a look at players that are loan listed and see if I can find any maybe possible good players to pick up for down the line. We've already got a left back, but Angelino could be good in the future if he's willing to trade Man City for Championship Nottingham Forest. Alan Saint-Maximin could maybe be a player that we could potentially at the very least look into. So too maybe currently a midfielder Benjamin Pavard. I'm finding some options here. And in the end, I was able to add a few more decent names to that shortlist. Hector Bellerin, Diego Llorente. Imagine getting the captain of Real Madrid in at Nottingham Forest. The dream dies before we even get started. He's just moved. However, it looks like I'll be able to get him on loan with a future fee in there. So we are going to make the signing of Llorente. Looks like we're also making the signing of Pavard. And we've even been able to secure Harry Wilson too. Bloody not done yet either. Angelino's coming too. Oh my God. This transfer window will be studied forever. Look at these 10 players that we have added into the team. Almost none of them can start, I would say, except for Diego Llorente. And look at that, Jamal Lascelles is injured somehow in preseason, so we're just going to replace him straight out the gates, really. He goes on to be the captain of Real Madrid. Maybe he can go on to be the captain of Nottingham Forest. What a transfer window for the ages. Hopefully this will look like in 5 or so years. But we have laid the foundation for what hopefully could turn into a team capable of getting out of the Championship, going on and winning the Premier League, and maybe a Champions League. But how will this team go in season 1? I mean, we barely made the starting 11 any stronger yet. We just set it up for the future, really. The real-life Nottingham Forest team only came 14th in the Championship. If we end up finishing mid-table this season, I'll honestly probably take it. Just don't get relegated. All right, okay, thank God. We will take a mid-table 13th place finish. Hell, that's one better than the real-life Nottingham Forest managed. Just in case you were wondering, no, we didn't manage a miracle Capital One Cup or FA Cup win either. We're only just getting started. This starting 11 barely changed at all, despite signing like 10 bloody players. Let's see how much it changes, if at all, when we go over to FIFA 16. This season in real life, there were a couple of transfers that we will recreate for Nottingham Forest. At left back, they brought in Bojan Jokic, and at striker, they brought in Nelson Oliveira, a 76 rated player and also a 74 rated striker. I mean, that'll hopefully go quite a long way in the Championship. We still have Mikel Antonio at left midfielder as well, but this season, they sold him to West Ham for about $9.5 million. Now, at the time, maybe not bad business, but I know we have to hang on to him, so that's what we're doing. We have a little bump in the budget this season to 6.5. Maybe we can get some good players with that. Because again, aside from Diego Llorente, none of the players we bought last season are up to a standard yet where they can be in this starting 11. I mean, names like Alex Ramiro, Benjamin Pavard, and a handful of others are going up a bit in overall, but just nowhere near enough. We need more depth. Got 3 more older players that I'm going to transfer list here, try to bring in even more cash. Once again, using pretty much the exact same methods, we've got more very decent looking players here. Dele Alli, Jesse Lingard, might try to ride those two's, little hype train for a while. Again, it just all comes down to how many players can we afford with that budget. The reports are in, all 4 of the defenders that we've shortlisted are pretty cheap, but Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard are both worth 1.1 and actually quite reasonable. We're not having to spend like 3 times their value to get him, so I might make a move in here for Dele Alli. In fact, I've gone in for all 6 of those players. Let's see, out of all of them, can we get them all? Bit of cash coming in here for Matty Fryatt will surely help, and it certainly will, because we're making the signings here, people, of Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard. On top of that, Andreas Christensen and Davide Calabria. Nice little right back option there. We also managed to pick up a pretty young 65 rated Joe Gomez as well. Oh man. Again, still none of them are pretty much getting it. Not even like Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard can make it into this midfield yet. But boy, just give it time. Give it time. We are going to have a ridiculous team in a couple of years. Still in the Championship, obviously. In real life this season, Nottingham Forest came 16th, so they actually regressed technically. Can we possibly, with a bit of an improved starting 11, maybe push for a bit of a shock early promotion to the Premier League? Unfortunately not. We got a pretty respectable 70 points, but in season 2 of the rebuild, we're still yet to get that Premier League promotion. Some early exits again in the cup competitions, but again, it's fine. We're still building and building. You just wait, lads. With some of the young names we have got in this team, I'm telling you, at some point, it's all gonna blow. How many of those young players are gonna make their way into the starting 11 in FIFA 17? I need it anyway. Now this season, as you can see, there's been a big increase in the overall quality of the starting 11. We're up now to a 4-star rating. You may also notice a new face or two. We have got Kasami in, a new signing that they made this season in real life. We've gone and recreated it here. We've also recreated another real life signing of 77 rated goalkeeper, and I'm probably definitely going to say this wrong, Stojkovic. But for the first time in this rebuild, I genuinely believe believe we have a very good shot of getting promoted. I mean, hell, look at some of the ratings now and some of the young players that have finally come up. Diogo Llorente, we've got Christensen, a brand new centre-back partnership. We've got Jesse Lingard. Dele Alli's up to an 80 overall. The one thing that we're really missing is a striker, like a star, high 70s, maybe even 80-something rated striker. Our budget this season is only a meager 5 million or so I reckon I could try to get the best striker possible with that money. I reckon we've got enough, young players waiting in the reserves for now. And I reckon if we sell some of our higher rated strikers that aren't really going to play much afterward, we'll get a few more older players gone as well. That should hopefully mean we could afford a real good player. So we're going to start moving on some of these players. And after successfully selling on like 5 of those players, the budget is now over 10 million with a decent away budget as well. I reckon we could get someone real good. Like maybe one of these players, as in Marcus Rashford, could be an option we go for. If we want to try to save a bit of money, if we can't afford Rashford, Callum Wilson could maybe be an option. Or if we still want to play long term, if Rashford and Wilson are probably still not it, too expensive, we go for Patrick Schick. Could be an option. But Marcus Rashford is the play. I was worried he was going to cost too much, but they only really want 10.2 million for him, so I think that is the move. Contract offer accepted. Marcus Rashford is coming to Nottingham Forest. What a signing, what a pickup, spending almost everything to get him. He leads the line with Dele Alli in behind him, bloody Lingard as well. It's honestly quite a crazy looking team with some very bright young Premier League players that we've been able to pull down into the championship. Oh, and because I completely missed it, say hello to Matty Cash up from the Youth Academy as well that we brought up this season. We might have a little bit of cash left over actually to go for another striker. Maybe Callum Wilson will be too expensive, but Patrick Schick could we make the move for? No, he just joined the club. Well, that was a short-lived dream. We can just leave it as is. Anyway, I think this is a very, very good opportunity for us to finally break out of here and get into the Premier League. Can you believe in real life Nottingham Forest almost got relegated? They came 21st. We're looking to go first if possible. And take a look at that, baby. It looks like we've secured that first position. Nottingham Forest with a game to go, 5 points clear. You know what that means. We are in the Premier League for next season. We secure our promotion way faster than the real life Nottingham Forest team could manage. And we do it by claiming the championship title as well. No promotion playoffs needed here. Step 1 is done. We secured our spot back in the Premier League and now we have to focus on winning the thing. Didn't win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup this season, but who cares? We're in the Prem. That was the main focus. And with a team still on the rise, I reckon we'll be pretty dangerous in our first season. Let's head over now to FIFA 18. So here's how the team looks, people, going into our first Premier League season of this rebuild. Look at Dele Alli all the way up to an 84, man. Our highest rated player is a midfielder, but the rest of our midfielders, Gardner, Lansbury, they're on the slide. And honestly, we've lost a couple of players, like for some reason, Kasami, not in the game anymore. So we need to make, some signings to fill the midfield. Oh, and remember that Stojkovic or whatever goalkeeper we signed last year? Well, yeah, he's gone as well. So Ramiro's back to being our best option. Could probably do better there as well. And even though we're in the Premier League, we're still stuck on championship money. So this is just going to be even harder. The 2 goalkeepers I think that are decent enough quality I might have a shot at affording are... Okay, and bear with me, I know this is ridiculous, but how cool would it be to see Iker Casillas in the Premier League? Hey, we've had some weird goalkeepers playing for some weird clubs, okay? Keylor Navas ended up joining Nottingham Forest in real life, for crying out loud. We had who else? Julio Cesar played for QPR. I don't want to hear anything about this not maybe somehow being possible. But if not him, we do have Ben Foster as a maybe actually unbelievably more expensive option than Iker Casillas. But whether you like it or not, people, I think it's going to look like it's going to happen. We are picking up Iker Casillas. He is coming to Nottingham Forest. Having an 83 rated goalkeeper, a man with that much experience, I'm sure that'll go a long way. We've got almost no cash left over to go and get any midfielders, so I'm going to have to try to find some bargains, like a Yves Bissouma, for example, from Lille could be a good option. We got a 66 rated Tyler Adams. I've got a 65 rated Mason
Mason Mount and a Winston McKennie that's only 63 overall, but I might need to pay his release clause. Either way, we've got maybe an option or two there to pick up with the cash that we have. We're going to have to spend pretty much everything to get Yves Bissouma into the club, but we'll make it happen. Quite literally everything. We're not going to have a cent left after this. Come on, for the love of God, you got to accept that. Otherwise, we're not going to have anything happen. Oh my God, these bastards are haggling over 129 pounds, man. Lads, we literally don't have this cash. What are we doing here? Oh, my client needs some time to think. Honestly, you know what? Piss off your client, man. As if I want to get you after this. Nah, forget about that, man. We got Casillas, we got Mason Mount, and we also got McKennie. So those are some good pickups for hopefully down the road. It's a struggle having no cash really whatsoever, despite being in the Premier League. Hopefully that team's good enough to compete. Don't think it's going to win the league or anything. Considering the real life Nottingham Forest were still struggling in the championship at this point in their time in 2018, I think any point, as long as it's not a relegation, we'll take for our first season. Well, that is not bad at all of a first season for us to finish in 7th place in the Premier League. That is despite us not having the greatest midfield, only just coming up. I'm 100% gonna take that. That's good signs. We are still doing almost nothing in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, so like we're yet to pretty much make a quarter final even, I don't think. Hopefully next season we get a little bit more cash to really do up the midfield of that starting 11, and again, more young players will be coming up. Who knows? Maybe we won't even need to. But a good first season, that. I'm taking it in the Prem. Let's go over to FIFA 19. We now begin our second season in the Premier League, and this team is starting to get quite a handful of 80+ rated players going. Dele Alli all the way up to an 85, Rashford, Lingard. Look, I'm fully aware that this is only going to be like this for a certain amount of time before Lingard, Rashford, and Dele Alli all fall off a bit. I am prepared for that. You look in our substitutes, you see a lot of players still on the up, like Mason Mount, like Joe Gomez, Benacer on the way up to, Ollie Watkins on the way up to. Do you know what else is finally on our way up? The bloody budget. About goddamn time. We've actually got a decent budget for the first time ever. A little over 20 something million. I reckon we can do some real damage with that. I think maybe a new left midfielder to replace Antonio wouldn't be too bad. And honestly, another highly rated midfielder would go pretty hard too. A player I found that I was kind of interested in, Mikel Merino in the middle, but he's just joined Real Sociedad, so that can't happen. The same, unfortunately, for Rafinha as well, still at Sporting Lisbon. Would have loved to have picked him up, but again, same deal. I might try to maybe pick them up in FIFA 20. For now, though, it looks like I'm going to have to spend almost 14 million just to get Luis Diaz in. That's like 2/3 of the budget gone already. We've had to spend an awful lot of our budget just to get in a 74 rated player that's not even going to be cracking the starting 11, at least not yet. Might just be a bit of a quiet window, to be honest, this one. Let's just see what we can do with the team as it is in a pretty good nick, you got to say. If we finished bloody 7th last season, could we maybe sneak into some sort of European football this season? Oofed. Not the season we were hoping for. We wanted some improvement. We went in the wrong direction. That's despite certain players getting up to like 86 and 87 overall. Look, I know that it's pretty much the peak now for especially Dele Alli, probably even like Lingard as well. And I might need to think about selling them in the future, just cashing in on them while possible and rebuilding the team all over again. Because at this stage, we're still a mile away from winning anything. No Carabao Cup victory and no FA Cup victory. How have Spurs done the double? We are still doing better than the real life Nottingham Forest, who are still in the championship at this stage. But I'm just saying, I was hoping that by now we could at the very least have gotten into Europa League or something. So let's keep pushing then. Let's go to FIFA 20. Now in FIFA 20, despite having a bit of a poor season, a bit of a backstep last season, we are up now to 4.5 stars, which I'm surprised by considering that we don't have a single position or area above an 80 overall in our attack, midfield, or defense. But hey, I'm still a pretty decent fan of the lineup. It's still looking pretty good. Almost every player is knocking on the door of an 80 or over an 80 overall. I am just fully aware though of Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard, who to be honest have already started to go down in overall. I legitimately think I have to add him to the transfer list. I might literally do the same with, where is he? He's down there somewhere.
Jesse Lingard's also going to get added there too. So we have done it. We have added him to the transfer list, and we've added a few other players as well, like Lingard and a couple of, to be fair, some older players that aren't getting much game time. We need to raise as much cash as we can. With a budget that's only a little bit higher than last season's, and all we were able to get really was Luis Diaz, a 74 rated player. I'm not crazy hyped about that. We need that money. Now, you may already notice a new name in this team, and that is a new face of Bryce Samba, who was brought in by Nottingham Forest in real life. Keep in mind, they're still in the championship at this stage in real life, but he turns into not a bad option. So I'm 100% going to recreate that transfer. And you know, a certain player that came up from their youth academy too, it was Brendan Johnston. Yeah, the guy that's, you know, pretty decent overall, playing for Spurs in real life. So that is another player that I will happily bring into the team from real life. And I tell you what, it's pretty concerning that we are almost halfway through the transfer window and we're getting no offers whatsoever. I swear to God, we have not received any offers for any players transfer listed. That is a concern. But look, listen, that's fine. I might have a solution to that weird issue. I'm just going to have to find a replacement and try to trade them. So I need someone to trade for Dele Alli. Like, for example, maybe, I don't know, a Federico Valverde could be an option. Or maybe I could go in a different direction. Maybe I could go for a Bruno Guimaraes. It'll make no sense why I'm trading these players now. Could try an Alexis McAllister. Could try Dani Olmo. I don't know. Let's see what we can do. I reckon my preferred pick would be Federico Valverde, so I'm offering Dele Alli to Real Madrid. And Zinedine Zidane, it looks like he's going to take it. He somehow wants an extra 365k. Fine, mate, you can have it. Oh, I bet you Real Madrid thinking they're getting a hell of a deal, don't they? But little do they know, we're bringing him into Nottingham Forest. And I'm going to try to do the same damn thing with everyone here. Like, so Nelson Oliveira, 74 overall. Who can I trade for him? Maybe I could try Luis Openda, for example. Oh my goodness. He's worth about the same amount of cash. We might need to pay a bit more if they go for it. But they don't want to go for it. This isn't a foolproof plan. That's fine though. Would you be interested in Henry Lansbury, 70 rated? Oh yeah, they will. All right, sweet. You can have him plus 4 mil. We got another one we're cooking up here. Jesse Lingard for Declan Rice plus 8 million. That is a bit of cash, but maybe we can at the least get that bumped down to at least 6.5. Oh my God. All right, fine. Play hardball. You don't know that you're the loser in this deal anyway. So Declan Rice is on board at Nottingham Forest now as well. And one final player we brought in on top of Declan Rice was Alessandro Bastoni, 74 overall, 20 years of age. We had to let Carl Darlow go, plus I think it was like maybe 8 million in order to get him. But basically all the budget is gone. But what another huge window. That is 4 great players that we've brought in. We've had to sacrifice Dele Alli, had to sacrifice Lingard and some others. But the strongest starting 11 we have looks like this now. And honestly, you could make the argument that the team has definitely gotten a bit weaker since losing Dele Alli and Lingard. But I don't think it's that big a deal. It's short-term pain, hopefully, for long-term gain. If we don't make Champions League this season, look, that's fine. Hopefully it's at least a step forward. And hopefully with a squad like that in FIFA 21, we might finally start pushing for Champions League and maybe threaten a Premier League title. And it looks like we get some improvement on last season, but not overall. We only come in 9th place. That is maybe a little bit concerning. I mean, but then again, we did let go of some of our better players like Dele Alli, like Lingard and some others. So I guess maybe just for this season, it's okay. But if we don't really get a move on soon, I am going to be concerned. So let's head on over then to FIFA 21. Again, a lot of changes, a lot of shakeups to the starting 11. We've got some odd names now, like Angelino is our best option to be playing at that left midfield position. Rashford is our highest rated player at an 85, and I don't really know how long he's going to stay that highly rated. I don't know if we give him the same treatment as Dele Alli or if that's unnecessary. We did lose Casillas, who retired, so not in FIFA 21. We've only got Bryce Samba and Alex Romero, who is up to an 80, but I think I should go in for another goalkeeper. Personally, I think if we bought a really highly rated goalkeeper, that could help us out, I think, quite a fair bit. Maybe possibly someone like a David De Gea, who is 29 years of age. He's going to cost between 50 and 70 million, and technically, he won't be around for a season. He won't be in FC 24. Either that, or we go really in a bit of a different direction with Samir Handanovic here, 87, so higher rated than De Gea, but look at that value. He's only going to cost us like less than a third, like a fifth of what David De Gea would cost us. He's higher rated, but obviously he'll only stick around for like a season or two at that level. So I'm going to try offering Jamal Lascelles plus 2 or so million. Can we make that happen? Looks like yes, we can. Antonio Conte is going to sign off on this deal. Getting in David De Gea would have been something, but we have an 87 rated Handanovic. He'll stay about a high to mid 80s for at least a season or two, and that will be very good. And once Handanovic starts going down in overall, I'm sure a certain Alex Ramiro will be there to pick up the slack and to step up. And after saving a bit of cash, we still got 30 something plus million to spend. And looking at that starting 11, I think an area that really needs improving is the right winger, right midfielder, Antonio filling that space for the moment. I thought about and tried to get him earlier. It couldn't happen, but this time I think surely it will. Bukayo Saka, we're making the move for him. I'm thinking I'll literally just chuck Mikel Antonio as part of the deal in there and maybe offer like 25 million on top. Damn, Mikel Arteta doesn't want to be anywhere near Mikel Antonio, but he just wants cash. Cash that thankfully we have. So welcome Bukayo Saka into this Nottingham Forest team, and come on now. Feels like we've added so many great names to this squad, and yet I'm still looking at that, not 100% confident in our ability to push into the Champions League yet. I knew this rebuild was going to be way harder than normal, but like the fact the only thing we've won still to this day is the Championship. No Carabao Cups, no FA Cups, and on top of that, we're still struggling to qualify for Champions League. Makes me a little nervous, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope for a good season. Oh my God, man, come on. They're so close to Champions League, but still no. We do not make the top 4. Nottingham Forest come 5th, but for the first time, we are in the Europa League. I suppose that is something. I mean, we're not in the Champions League. That is the goal of this whole video, to try to get a third for Nottingham Forest. We're still no good in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, but look at this, man. We were in the semi-finals. We just lost to Liverpool 2-0, who eventually, of course, you know, went on to win the FA Cup. Even if we could have just gotten our first, like, proper major English trophy with this team, that would have been nice, but whatever. I'll take Europa League for now. The fact we still haven't made Champions League is a bit concerning. But look, it's progress, okay? We still got a few seasons left to go. Let's move to FIFA 22. Finally, for the first time in this rebuild, every single player in the starting 11 is now an 80 plus overall. About bloody time we finally got there, but hey, we will definitely take this, people. I mean, it's not a bad looking side and still relatively young. All these players probably still have, apart from maybe 1 or 2, a bit of room left to grow. Great ratings, 4.5 stars. The group we're in the Europa League, surely we should breeze through. I have high expectations that this team can indeed qualify for the Champions League this season in the Prem. Who knows? Could that be a shock side to go and win the thing? I don't know. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I swear I've got less budget than last season somehow, but let's see what we can do with that. We are playing Marcus Rashford as our starting striker, and he will obviously start to slide. So maybe if we have the cash, if we have the resources, we go in for a super highly rated striker. I thought about getting Lautaro Martinez in, but honestly, he'll probably run like 100 million, which is just money we don't have and have never really been given at any point in this rebuild. Another option I had was Gerard Moreno, a bit out there, but 86 overall, and he's too important for the team to sell. So in the end, I don't know. I might just need to look for, again, more bargains. Some more defensive options we could do with a bit of shoring up in that area. Could be maybe a Jeremy Frimpong, who might still only run us like 25, 29 million. That is our whole budget right there, if we were to just go for him. Gvardiol is probably going to be even more expensive, which is crazy. And then we have got Nico Williams, who is a very cheap option. I mean, only 4 million for the player I think he's going to turn into. Wink, wink. I'll happily try to trade, like, let's say Harry Wilson straight for him, and they'll take it. Oh man, you're going to regret that. Which means hopefully I can just pay all the cash that I have, use it on Frimpong. I'll take that. They're wanting quite a fair bit, 18 million plus Calabria, which is crazy. But in the end, we will get the job done. We're going to have a brand new right flank in the future with Saka and, of course, course, Jeremy Frimpong. Maybe Nico Williams will eventually get moved to left midfield. But good pickups. None of them getting into the starting 11 yet, but we'll take it. Is this the season we finally finish in the top 4? Maybe even shockingly win the Premier League? I'll take that. And how's our Europa League campaign going to go? Can we finally get like our first silverware proper major trophy of this rebuild? Well, finally, at long last, we are up into the top 4. Only just, literally, look at that. Spurs nearly took it from us, but we are going to be in the Champions League next season. They'll at least take the Carabao Cup. We won't. How about the FA Cup? Of course not. Didn't think so. That Europa League campaign of ours didn't go much better either. Knocked out in the preliminary round of 32. We got Atletico Madrid. That is a bit of a rough, that's quite a rough draw anyway. Shame to have still not won any trophies apart from the championship this entire time, but at long last, we achieve another goal, which is qualify for the Champions League. We will be there in FIFA 23. Now, in real life this season, Nottingham Forest got themselves promoted to the Premier League. Oh, come on, lads, about time. We did that ages ago. Our team probably looks about as good as it ever has. That is a fantastically rated team. It's so good, in fact. We have now hit a 5-star rating for the first time in this rebuild. We are also now finally in the Champions League as well after coming 4th last season, so get in. With this being the season that Nottingham Forest got promoted, they obviously made some pretty big transfers, one of which was Keylor Navas, 87 rated. What a bizarre signing that was, but I'm not saying no to signing an 87 rated keeper, so he's coming in. I'm also going to do the same for these other 2 players, Chris Wood and Morgan Gibbs-White, they picked up this season as well. Nico Williams they picked up. It's not going to become like an 80-something rated player, but I could probably get him in too. I think maybe if we're going to sign another player this season, it should probably be another centre-back, hopefully a high-quality centre-back, or maybe a high-quality striker, someone over an 85 at least. Might be tricky for us to do with only a £43 million budget, so I will be transfer listing a couple of players that I could probably just move on. We've only been able to get the budget up to at least 50 million so far, so not great, but it should be enough for us to go for one of these centre-backs. I've got Jonathan Tah, who's not a huge improvement on our current situation, but I feel like he will definitely get up and overall a bit. So too will this Brazilian by the name of Bremer with an 84 overall. His asking price a little bit more. He's my preferred pick, but can we afford him? Again, I may need to include a player to try to make it happen. Let's go with Ben Davies, I reckon, plus off. 40 million? They want 58 million. Wow. Thankfully, we were able to haggle them down and we will make this happen. We've got ourselves a brand new, highly rated center back and someone that I'm sure will be a very good fit in this team. We're going to swap him in and in place of Christensen. So there we go. Bastoni and Bremer, 2 of the best Serie A center backs, are now suddenly right here in the Premier League. We have only got 3 seasons left in this rebuild. We have already had a horrid start by getting knocked out of the cup. How do we go in the Premier League, the Champions League? Can we get our first trophy of this rebuild? Currently, as things stand, there's still 2 games to go. We can't win the league. We're fighting again to stay in the Champions League. I've only temporarily stopped it because finally, at last, we've made the final of a cup competition. Nottingham Forest and Liverpool at Wembley Stadium. Let's see this team in action. Can we get our first major English trophy? We have been at this for so long, and really, aside from the championship, that's the only bit of silverware we've had to show for it. But at last, we get to step out onto Wembley Stadium. We're playing for that trophy. We got a tough task ahead to try to take down Liverpool, but can we do it? Come on, lads. We've been starving for this. We're finally underway. And look at what might lead from the counter-attack. Hello, Luis Diaz against his old side, who we never joined in this timeline. It's Luis Diaz! In a slightly different shade of red, he scores at Wembley Stadium. We lead 1-0. How about that for a start as well? Come on, only 10 or so minutes in. Oh my God! Navas makes one great save, then lets that in at the near post. Maybe from the corner. It's not going to be Madison. Oh, Allison. Ball back in. Hello! He's there! There it is! The ball just stayed in so conveniently for the cross into Rashford. Allison got a hand to it. Not enough, though. Unreal effort from James Madison. The header saved, but Rashford gets up, and it ever so gently, carefully creeps over the line
before 2-1. A little bit of time remaining. The ball comes in. Hello, Saka! Oh my God, what an unbelievable perfect ending to the first half that is. Ball crossed in at the back stick and Saka gets front position and volleys it, bicycle kicks it into the side netting. Thank you, Robertson. He barely even tried to get rid of it. Oh, Madison's through here. Absolutely away. Could we shoot? Could we even just go around the goalkeeper? That'll work. That'll work. Nearly cleared off the line, but no. Nottingham Forest having a field day at Wembley. Where is Allison going? Well, this is what I was worried about. Henderson's able to get one into the top corner. We were cruising for a little while. We had a great run, but 20 minutes to go. Let's not throw this away, please. Julian Brand will have a go. No good. Navas holds. Look at the time. We're going to do it. FA Cup champions. A little scare here and there, but our first appearance at Wembley in an FA Cup final finally yields our first major English trophy. It's been a bloody tough rebuild. It's been a way harder rebuild than normal, but my word, have we had to wait a long time for this. Only our second trophy of the rebuild, our first major one. We've had to wait all the way to FIFA 23, but at long last, Nottingham Forest win a major English title. It's the FA Cup. And how did the rest of the season go? Well, with the 2 remaining games, we were able to hang on again to that 4th spot, so still in the Champions League. Unfortunately, we didn't win it in our first season in it, so that's, yeah, too bad. We went pretty far. Quarterfinals, I'm definitely taking, but knocked out by Real Madrid, so that's a bit of a tough draw. Any draw in the quarterfinals is probably going to be difficult. But at long last, an FA Cup, we've been able to secure it. Now, all we have to do is keep going on from here. Look at the ratings for some of those players. It's almost an all 85 rated team. That is surely capable of taking home a Premier League, maybe a Champions League. That's what we're gunning for. We got 2 seasons left to do it. Can we get one of the 2 in FC 24? The team once again just elevates. Once again, this team looks unbelievable. We see some new faces in as well. Ismail Benacer, that we signed ages ago, is now a starting 11 player. Keylor Navas is just good enough to still stay the starting goalkeeper over Alex Ramiro. And we are still in the Champions League as well. Again, look at that rating. 84, 84, and 83. This is statistically the best the team's ever been. We've also made a pickup or 2 of some real-life transfers that Nottingham Forest made. Anthony Elanga, 73 overall. He's definitely better than that right now, so I can see some growth there. Even their left back, Ola Aina, I think is that how you pronounce it? Probably not, but either way, we got him in too. But that is the strongest starting 11 we've had this entire rebuild. We are now a winning team. We know how to win trophies, picking up that FA Cup. Can we translate that into Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues? We only have 2 opportunities left to do it. I'll try to make one signing with the budget we have, which is only 50 million. No one's getting into our starting 11 with that. We had Ben Davies at left back once upon a time. Why not try to go in for Alphonso Davies? Looks like we're going to get the deal over the line. We've now got Alphonso Davies running things down the left-hand side. That is another tidy pickup into Nottingham Forest. Get in. Are we in for yet another brutal season of no Premier League titles, no Champions Leagues, or could this maybe be the season? Well, at the end of this season, look at where we are. Finally up there and abouts in the Premier League, but it's not over. We're in 2nd place currently. The team in 1st is Manchester City. They only have a lead on goal difference, and it's quite a substantial goal difference at this stage. So really, we need to go into the last game of the season, get a win, and try to better Man City's result. Man City are playing at home against West Ham, so that's, you know, not the toughest team in the league. We have got to try to beat Burnley away. If we can do that, and Man City can drop some points, we will have our first Premier League title of this rebuild. But look at some of the names that are missing for the game. Saka's out. Benacer is out. Davies is red carded. Valverde's out. We're missing like almost our entire midfield. Nico Williams is going to have to get in. James Maddison's not a bad one to bring in, but Mason Mount, Angelino at left back. Will this team be enough to overcome Burnley? And can Man City choke at the death? Or can we find a way to score like 7-8 goals to win the Premier League title? I don't know if that's going to be possible. But I refuse to give up. We're going to fight to the end. Will we get this win? Rashford. I think the ball's through here. Nico Williams. Trivela strike goal! Filling in for the injured Bukayo Saka. Nico Williams giving us a lead. Pong delivery.
Oh, that's a nice deflection. And Rashford will make it 2. Bit of breathing space there, and fortuitously as well. We will take that. Oh, come on now. Maddison, strike. Tough. Oh, it's going to sit for him again. We're getting all the bounces. We are getting quite fortunate here. The game surely here could be beyond all doubt already. And maybe could we possibly be making pretty good progress to get the 7-8 goals we might need if Man City were to win. Again, a reminder, Man City's goal difference on us was +6. So if they were to win, that would be minimum +7. So we need 7 goals. We're not even halfway there despite a good first. Play a short one down here. Luis Diaz, got some space, got a 4th. I don't think we should be celebrating. We should probably just go back and get the ball, eh? I'm not sure if we're going to have enough time to score the 3 that we're remaining anyway. We just need Burnley to try to get a second goal here. Frimpong, ball in, good one. Well found Mount, but look at the time, man. It's not going to happen. We simply need Burnley to score and to get a draw because we are not going to get there. Burnley's going to kick this game off and it's either going to be horrifically sad scenes or raptures. What's it going to be? We actually seem to be celebrating quite hard. Don't tell me that I think we might have done it. I can hear the chants of Campeones going around Turf Moor. I reckon West Ham have actually gone and done it here, and they bloody have. The Premier League title is going to Nottingham Forest. It's going to be lifted up by Declan Rice. Man City, that normally are so clutch in the final day of the Premier League, have slipped up and given it to Nottingham Forest. We take our first English our first English League title of the rebuild. Oh man, and to think, I thought it wasn't going to be enough. I thought we'd scored 5 goals and not got it done, but we have. Oh man, and to think I thought we hadn't done enough. Unbelievable finish to the season. Nottingham Forest are champions of the Premier League. Thank you, Man City. Thank you, West Ham. We had an absolute stinker in the Champions League for some reason. Thank God we're in the Champions League next season. We have one more chance to try to right this wrong. We dropped all the way into the Europa League only to get knocked out in the semi-finals by Manchester United, which actually set up an all-Manchester final, which was won by, of course, the team that knocked us out. But despite missing so many players in that final game and throughout the season, we are Premier League champions. There's only one trophy now that we have not won that we wanted at the start of this rebuild. And that, of course, is that Champions League title, which this season was won by PSG. One last opportunity, one final season. We got our Premier League. Can we get our Champions League? Let's finish this off in FC 25. Here we are finally in FC 25. Here is the real life Nottingham Forest team. And as you can see, there's not a single player over an 80 overall. And yet despite that, this team is still like 3rd in the Premier League. We got to give them some respect. And this is the Nottingham Forest side that we have rebuilt all the way from FIFA 15 to FC 25. The now Premier League champions Nottingham Forest as well, might I add. And there are quite a few shakeups actually toward the end of this rebuild. Nico Williams, one of the heroes of last season, is now up and starting at left wing. We have got Bukayo Saka in there, as well as Ollie Watkins up top now, leading the line over Marcus Rashford. Alex Ramiro, the keeper that we brought in ages ago, is now our highest rated option. And we have got a pretty staggering 19 players that are 80 or higher rated. Federico Valverde is our highest rated. You've got a couple of 87s in there as well, like plenty of players up into the 85s. Luis Openda is actually challenging Ollie Watkins for starting striker as well. Can this team possibly maybe even go back to back in the Premier League? I damn think it well could, but can it go even better and win a Champions League in the last season of the rebuild? We have one final shot at trying to win it in the new format as well. How will we go? One last opportunity to add a 3rd star to that Nottingham Forest team logo. Before we figure that out, look at the Premier League table. We have got 100 points after just 37 games. We're not even done. But yes, we are going back to back in the Premier League. We were never quite able to win the Carabao Cup, hilariously. And we're only going to manage the one FA Cup as well because we don't win that one either. But the all-important question, the ultimate goal of this video was to try to win the Champions League, to try to make a championship team a Champions League winning team. Have we done that? No! The answer is no. We have not been able to make that Champions League final. Just like a couple seasons ago, the furthest we get is the quarterfinals. We got knocked out by Atletico Madrid. Unbelievable. Just goes to show how good you have to be to win the Champions League. Not even this team could get it done. Unfortunately, I just think we peaked a little too late. It was a bloody difficult challenge, this rebuild, but it's not all doom and gloom. We are going to win a second Premier League title. We are able to add a second Premier League title to go along with the 2 Champions Leagues of this great football club. And unlike the last one that we won, this time we actually get to lift it up in our home stadium in front of our home fans. There you have it, ending on a high note. Back-to-back Premier League champions, Nottingham Forest. Lads, let's leave it here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, if you are indeed new, be sure to check out this video as well for plenty more.